Farming for dollars: how farm subsidies harm consumers, taxpayers, and the poor. The U.S. Congress is currently considering the 2007 Farm Bill. What's needed is drastic reform of a complex and outdated system. While Farm Bill proposals are touted as helping small family farmers struggling to make ends meet, instead they would increase subsidies to already successful farmers that end up being paid for by consumers, taxpayers, and the poor. Most of the current farm subsidy programs were created or expanded as a response to the Great Depression, when 1/4 of Americans lived and worked on farms. But today, less than 2% of the U.S. workforce is employed on farms. And the average farm household income is projected to be over $86,000 in 2007, up 8% from the year before. Clearly, things were very different in the 1930s when many of these programs began. There are roughly 2/3 fewer farms than there used to be, and farming's share of the economy is only about 1/10 of what it was 75 years ago. More importantly, though, is the issue of who is actually receiving these payments that were intended to help farmers at the edge of poverty. In recent years, the wealthiest 1% of beneficiaries received 24% of all Department of Agriculture farm subsidies, and the top 10% received almost 3/4 of all payments. Even dead farmers receive some subsidies. In recent years, more and more subsidies have been going to larger farms. So farms are getting bigger and bigger as the payments go to fewer and fewer. Farm subsidies for many commodities also hurt the poor in developing countries. They can't compete in the world market with our heavily subsidized crops. Huge U.S. surpluses are offered at prices unsubsidized poor farmers can't meet. And restrictions on imports into the U.S. means they often can't sell some key products. Cotton and sugar farmers in the developing world are particularly hard hit. Yet, U.S. farmers are lobbying for even more at a time when farm income is at an all-time high. And the agriculture lobbyists may get their extra pork in the 2007 Farm Bill if the senators match the plan adopted by their colleagues in the House of Representatives. The House 2007 Farm Bill would do several things. First, it would cost taxpayers $286 billion over 10 years. And the U.S. sugar program, one of the most egregious, would give sugar producers even more. This program props up sugar prices at twice the world market price, it limits sugar imports, and provides the industry with special loans on special terms. The chief people who gain are a small, elite group of wealthy producers. And the ones who lose are American consumers and taxpayers, to the tune of about $1.3 billion each year to support sugar growers in the U.S. Besides raising families' food costs, the program harms the environment and hurts poor farmers in developing countries. And the proposals in the new Farm Bill would make the program even worse. It would increase sugar price supports, further raising the price of sugar and costing American consumers another $200 million per year. The Senate now is crafting its own bill, but that will have to be negotiated with the House. In coming up with a final bill, will Congress look at the effects of these massive subsidies on consumers, taxpayers, and the poor? Or will they just continue to distribute more pork? It's time for real reform.